Hello there and welcome to episode 19 of the Quidditch Manager Weekly Update. My name is Joel, I'm the manager of the Newcastle Wands, and I want to quickly touch on who won in Season 31. We'll have a look at Season 32 as well, and then I want to readdress the question I asked in the previous Quidditch Manager Weekly Update in regards to the new academy and buying all the upgrades. We'll jump straight into it. I actually did this episode earlier today at 5 o'clock. I knew the girls were due home at 5 o'clock or thereabouts, and I got through most of the episode, but unfortunately they pulled in at the very instant where I was trying to get to point 3 and close out the episode, and it all fluffed a bit, so I decided to redo it after I got all my chores done. We'll have a look at the pensieve and have a look at who did win in Season 31. The Grey Greys were victorious in Silver League, so congratulations to the Grey Greys. The Grey Greys and the Warlocks will go up to a Gold League. We'll have a look at the victors in the Gold League as well. Unfortunately, my Jersey Jumbucks didn't quite get there. There was a one-match deficit to the Bristol Badgers, so well done to the Badgers and the Jumbucks on getting to Honour League. If you were to have a look at the graph for Season 31 of Gold League, you would notice that the Badgers were ahead on just about every day except maybe the first 4 or 5. It looks close. It's a one-match difference, but it really wasn't. There was only ever one leader for Season 31 of Gold League. And we have a look at Honour League. In Honour League, the Dundee Mifflins won. So they actually had their first victory there. Congratulations to the Mifflins. They, again, were ahead of the Ashford Wanderers by 1 victory. So the Ashford Wanderers must have had a couple of close calls in the last few seasons then. That's one there that was the close one with the Corgis as well in the previous season. Let's have a look at that. But the Ashford Wanderers have been doing well for themselves, being at the top of the ladder there. There was certainly talks of them being OP for a while, but they just keep missing out. I guess they've got a couple of wins under the belt. So you can see there was a loss to the Corgis by 1. They stopped it in Season 29. Let's have a look at 28 as well, because this was when the World Cup was, the previous World Cup was. And they won there on head-to-head by the looks of it, over the Shield. So good to see the Mifflins are first in Honour League. And coming into the World Cup in Season 32, it's going to be... Well, everyone wants to be doing well when it comes into a World Cup. Now, point 3 on my list there, you can see... I'm gonna jump to it now, why not? But for the World Cup in Season 32, I've been discussing with Andre. He mentioned that there's... not 256 teams, but there's 128 matches to draw. So that's a lot. We're not going to do one video for that. We're going to find a way to do the draw, but we won't do it live. We won't do each draw at a time, because we figured out, I think it was 5 seconds per draw or 5 seconds per matchup, which isn't much time to talk about it. It's still 10 minutes. And we're not going to spend 5 seconds on each one, so it's going to take too long. We'll find a way to condense it to make it into a nice little video. I think was it match day 7 or 8 is going to be the first round or the draw. So it's a week away regardless. So whatever we're going to do, it's not going to happen right now. The way the World Cup works, it'll be every 2 or 3 match days after that point, and that'll get through the number of rounds we've got to get through. In terms of being available to do stuff, the good news for me, I guess, is that I did get the job that I've been applying for recently. So I finally got the call, actually last Friday when I did the Qmwu 18. I got the call as I was uploading Quidditch Manager Weekly Update to say, yes, I've got it. And I start on April the 13th. I start training on the 13th, so that's 2 weeks away. The next 2 weeks will just be me, I guess, winding down my operations from home and then getting ready for the next big adventure. I'm actually really excited for it, because I feel like I'm a pretty nice guy, and I do a pretty good job when I work, and I'd like to get compensated for it. Basically, I just want to get paid for the work I do. And working for someone else, and it's still going to be in finance, it's still going to be with a bank, online bank. It ticks a lot of boxes for me. It's unfortunate that I won't be working from home, but the fact that I'll be getting paid for working for someone else is a pretty big tick, so I'm pretty happy with that. We go to point 2, the follow-up to can I buy everything? This was the question I asked last week, or half a week ago now, in the Quidditch Manager Weekly Update number 18. And the point I was making was that some Honour League teams can purchase all the upgrades and still not operate at a loss. And I put the question forth to you guys on the forums, and I got quite a few responses. The general consensus seems to be that the managers that are in the know and play the game are quite happy for it to be a reward for managers who have played for a long time. The fact that you can earn more money and subsequently have more upgrades and still financially support them, that's seen as a positive, and that's fine. Matt did point out on the forums though, and this is something I didn't consider, but when fouls, injuries and suspensions comes in, it's going to be a lot harder for teams to maintain a full roster as well as all the upgrades. And that's something I didn't consider. At the moment, I think both the Wands and the Jumbucks are operating as 7 or 8 players because that's all that's needed in the current format of Quidditch Manager. And when you go to 12 or even 14, 14 is going to be the new limit. When you get to 14 players, well, it's going to be a lot harder to maintain all those contracts as well as the upgrades. And, of course, one thing that Andre did mention to me after telling me that he had all the upgrades was that he hadn't spent any of his G on... which is raining a lot there. Anyway, he hasn't spent any of his G on the scouting upgrades. So even though having the upgrades and the upkeep was operating at pretty close to, I guess, break even, or slightly positive, the fact that there was still 29,750 galleons to spend at some point at the end of the season was going to put him, almost 30k below, and that's something I didn't consider. Now, there's going to be a bit of, when you recruit youth and then you train them up and then you sell them off, you're going to make some cash back that way, and so that'll kind of offset the scouting costs you expect. Like that makes sense to me at least. That if you're going to make some money in the player trading market, well, it's going to offset the cost of scouting for those players, and that makes a bit of sense to me. But I still think at some point in the future there's going to have to be stadium maintenance, because having 32,000 seats means you've got more people, I guess, more people selling chips, more people maintaining the facilities, all that kind of stuff. There's going to have to be more cost associated with the upper end of the game that kind of balances it out. But having 14 players on your roster is going to pull back a bit on the profit. I don't know if anyone's done any analysis yet on what's the most efficient upgrades to purchase, or what the best ones are to buy. As I said last week, it seems like the best strategy is to try and afford everything. Just have your popularity as high as possible, have your ticket sales up as high as possible, and just try and buy as many things as you can. There's not really much of a decision point at the moment. Although I will say that with the wands I've bought a few more things recently, but I haven't got everything. And I probably can't afford everything with the wands at the moment because the popularity is so low. The ticket revenue is not high enough. You can see I've got the Swagon as well, which is my own silly fault. After Qmwu 18 was that I did not have the conference room or the office. Now these two upgrades, they give you scouting discounts. And so after I did Qmwu and uploaded it, I bought these two to like the office and the conference room, and I realised that they had 2 days to build, and this was match day 28. So I was thinking, okay, match day 29 and match day 30 is when it will be built. Can I even get the scouting discount after that point? I was a bit worried that I had to pay for the scouting before match day 30. It turns out for those playing at home that you can have those upgrades built on match day 30 and still spend the scouting money afterwards and then still get 3 players. So I spent my 29,750 galleons to get 3 players, and we'll have a look at the 3 players because there's a nice little gem in here. Austin is from Australia, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite chuffed with that. I'll have to figure out what to do with him. Alertness is super high, 60, which is well above his average of 41. Even speed's quite high. Charisma and morale are pretty low, and I'm pretty happy with that. Accuracy is also low, so that kind of fits in with the keeper I guess position that I could maybe push him towards. And then we just have to work on things like stamina, agility, get those things up. Dexterity is pretty good as well. So I'm pretty happy with Austin. I think I'll find a place for him, but certainly because he's Australian, I'll certainly try and do my best to put him somewhere, find somewhere for him. So yeah, back to the forum post. I was glad that you guys did have your say. I really appreciated the views on it, and I'm glad that some people pointed out a few costs, I guess, that I didn't consider, because that makes it a bit more balanced. I thought, certainly in my head, when I was looking at it, going, you shouldn't be able to buy everything and have no consequences. To me, that was silly. That was OP, and I guess if everyone was to do it, then obviously it would be overpowered because everyone's doing it for the same benefit, and there's no cost to it. There's no cost benefit analysis. There's no decision trees. You know my thoughts and feelings on those, so we'll leave that aside for now. This is going to be a short video because I'm feeling a bit croaky at the moment. Because it's the start of Season 32, I want to upload this before Season 32 starts, so I'll give the warning, set your ticket prices, look at the trade list and buy any players you can, get your friend list set up. The whole scab the SCAB acronym. I can't remember actually what the SCAB acronym is because it was a while ago since I said it, since I made it. But just check everything. Get your ticket prices right as well, because day one you don't have any negatives to your, to your popularity. So you may as well get as many G as you can when you set those ticket prices. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Quidditch Manager Weekly Update. World Cup Season 32. So it's going to be exciting. There's going to be more videos getting pushed out. I would say so. This time next week we'll start looking at doing the draw for Season 32, the World Cup. And we'll see what the matchups are. Hopefully, there's some honor teams banging heads at the start to give us a bit of interest at the start, and then we'll see in a few weeks time after that who gets through to the exciting end of the tournament. So thank you very much for watching this episode, and until next time, hooroo!